I think these two cannot answer because they don't take bus and.
I also do occasionally, but anyway, it's good that you can answer.
You're a regular user, so maybe you want to take this one.
It's subjective lah. Okay. It's the amount of hassle that you are willing to live with lah. If you peak hour you take, okay. If you are at one of those stations where not many people come out, you die lah. you stand there. Every time the train comes, nobody comes out. Then you cannot go in. See, then you have to wait 5 trains, 6 trains, or what, right? Then you look at the big station, interchange stations, right? Every time the train stops, you have 3 people coming out, 3 people going in. So then your queue is 20, 30 long. So it's a very difficult question to answer.
What is the level of service that you think
I think
people will switch?
I think why a lot of people are unhappy is because they go to some other country, the peak hour, and then they experience, and then they say, hey, how come the difference is the perception is there. You see. You go to Hong Kong or everything's relative. If everywhere you go in the world and every time you take MRT peak hour is like this, then you say I can't accept it. You see.
I don't know. I mean, I've taken public transport, not as frequent as my friend here, but in almost every, and certainly overseas I take a lot. I mean, if you're having meetings in Hong Kong, in Japan, I mean, even the president of the company takes train, but certainly in Japan, not only peak hour, most hour, the trains are quite congested, but you can get in the train. That's number one. It's not maybe a bit of pushing. There's somehow they may have done all the fine-tuning. There's enough capacity. Secondly, I think the frequency is predictable. This train go, 6 more minutes, the next train turns up, and it does turns up. So I would say it's sad to say, but it is a fact of life that, of course, public transport is congested, lack of privacy. You run the risk of all these things about sexual harassment and all this. But I think the bigger issue here is we don't have. I think frequency is a problem, and it's not well connected. We're not servicing there are a lot of blind spots in Singapore that still do not have accessibility to public transportation.
I think like all things, if the question is to have a benchmark, I give you one. You go to Punggol, take the LRT during peak hour, then you know how bad. Okay? So I think the benchmark is this. If you see a lot of people taking a train or LRT or bus in the reverse direction just to ensure that they can get into the bus or train, you see a lot of people doing that, then I think it is not acceptable. If you want me to give you a benchmark.
It's a good point.
And we are seeing a lot of people doing that because they say, I wait here, forever the bus is not stopping, so I take the opposite direction, then I come take one round. So like, some people do that, it's okay, but if everybody is doing that, then there's something wrong with the system.
You hear this, is that people in Bedok in the morning, they go to Pasir Ris first, because the first train's up from there, because if you're in Bedok, you never get up a train.
Say what you like, public transport is never going to be as good as private transport.
Yeah, you've got to accept that.
So that you have to accept that. And, but how big is the gap? I always believe that in Singapore, if you own a car, it's first class travel because the roads make it very smooth, relatively congestion free, lots of parking. Parking charges are low. ERP is only 50 cents to $4 the most. It's heaven, so the chasm between public and private transport is very, very wide. So when you say the word relativity, I think the relativity has to be a bit closer.
Yeah.
I think my greatest concern, for selfish reasons, because I take public transport. What will all these changes mean to me for someone who is taking public transport? And it's not looking good, because you make it harder for people to drive or to keep driving. Then all this will be pushed to the public transport sector. It's already bad enough. So I think one thing missing in this change, whether this time round or the last time round, is when they make a change in private transportation policy, they need to do some studies as how it will impact the public transport area and what they're going to do to address some of these shortcomings. So this is absent, I think, insofar as this change of previous changes is concerned.